Hello everyone, we're here with Higanbana no Saku Yoru ni, translated meaning the unforgiving flowers blossom in the dead of night. Also known as just, Higanbana. I'm still doing that. You think I'm gonna stop, I'm not. I did it for all of Movement Echo, I'll do it for all of this. So, when we last left off, what's it, Takashi, I believe his name is? You went to the shoe locker and found out Marie exists. Moria, right? I'm pretty sure. And we caught up with where I read to last. Like, you get what I mean, I hope. Like, see, I stopped at the same place. Back, September 13th. It doesn't say the year, but that's gotta be 2016. It's been a week since I last recorded. I've been meaning to, I just haven't gotten around to it. And yeah, I'm hoping to do at least 2 today because my backlog is catching up to me. Like, I have one Final Morgana video left, then I'm done. And I've just kind of been relying on that for the past, year. Because I started Final Morgana back in April. And I just binged it, pretty much. So anyway, I'm rambling. That's not relevant. I decided I'd make a detour before heading home. I didn't understand what the camera wanted to tell me, but it passed into my hands. And with it, I took that photograph. And aside from capturing that, I thought there was a comment there. Capturing that girl who shouldn't be there. It must have some meaning. In the classroom shelf was the same field trip guidebook I read last night in my house. By chance, I thought to open it, and just as I thought, inside was Marie Moria's name that I had struggled so hard over and over again to find last night. And in her emergency contact information was a phone number, and even an address had been written down. Okay, so we're going to her house. Or apartment, it looks like. The address was on the way home. It was a public apartment complex. I checked the mailboxes by the elevators. There's no mistake. Among the names on the mailboxes, the name tag for Moria was there. That's it. There's no room for doubt anymore. And I remember, Marie Moria really had existed. I forget, did she ever mention her parents at all? Like, or maybe he's just gonna show up and no one's there. She never had parents. She was always a ghost. She was their classmate. She really did exist. She even had a home here. That's right, that photograph had doubtlessly delivered the truth. Now the obvious question to ask is, why did we forget about her? It was not like we just forgot about her. Her name had disappeared from everything in school. Even her desk. I remembered her name. Maybe only I could find her name in the class register in that 49th desk. Could this be that thing from the school ghost story I often hear about? And now that I think about it, I believe I've heard about this. That's right. A rumor about the creation of the 8th ghost story. A rumor about the yokai called Meso-Meso-san that appears in the old school restroom. That girl was in fact a bullied student. And that she was killed by a teacher or something. That she transformed and whatnot. Transferred? Wait. She transformed? I guess into a yokai, but... Huh? Wait, what? Have I really heard such a story before now? And the name of that girl is... Moria. What? Did I have a memory like that? Perhaps I'm being sucked into the school ghost story because of that mysterious camera. But this wasn't like a vague ghost story or anything of the sort. After all, the traces of Marie Moria's existence are still here. Because even her home is still here. Even though it had always been here like this, the truth hadn't been revealed. I steeled myself and I called the elevator. With my mind made up, I couldn't go back. I'd come this far. I'll see the truth for myself. Finding that camera, taking the picture of the class, remembering Marie Moria, and finally coming here was probably no mere coincidence. Someone, for some reason I don't understand, led me here. I walked the hallway of the complex. The various apartments jostled by the hallway, mixed with the smells of daily life in the various apartments. On the plus side, it was overflowing with life, but on the downside, the place seemed stagnant with an unwelcoming atmosphere. And so, I finally arrived. Moria. Right here. Affixed to the nameplate was a card written in stained in marker. I think this is a new song? I turned my volume down, by the way. Last time it was too loud, I'll probably have to edit that a bit. And written in small print after the last name Moria were the names of 4 family members. Oh, did they put the name of all family members? Like, I know they put like a nameplate out front, like with your last name, but Marie's name wasn't on there. Wait, that's not right. It's a 5-member family. I let loose a small breath, summoning up some courage. I rubbed my eyes. Marie Moria. It's as if her name alone had been weathered, and as if the nameplate remembered her name. The end of the 4 names in the family, vaguely, Marie, began to surface. I thought to ring the doorbell. There's a sticky note there. Out of order, please knock. I looked at the electric meter. It was moving in a way that suggested the family was home. What? I just did a shrug. I saw that my mic picked up a little, so maybe you heard the shrug. Oh, where's my... Hold on, I'm looking for my phone. Oh, there it is, okay. I'm making sure it's on silent, sorry. On the way here, there were still... I mean, I'm not going to get a text or something at 2 a.m., but just in case. On the way here, there were still apartments with the evening paper at their doors. But there's no paper on their doorstep. That's a sign someone is home. Oh, Takashi's smart. I swallowed hard, and then once again I looked at the door plate of the name Murray. Or maybe that's Ryukichi07's, like, he used to work as a government worker, right? Maybe that's his experience talking. And then I knocked. I wanted to know the truth. That truth caught on the camera. But what kind of truth was it? I had to find out. Finally, I heard the voice of a middle-aged woman say, "Who is it?" Perhaps it's Marie Moria's mother. I sensed her put on sandals in the entrance and then looking through the people. Even if she misunderstood what I looked like, I couldn't have looked like a high-pressure salesman. As if to make sure, the door opened with the chain on. As the door opened, along with all kinds of smells, an older woman's face, more beautiful than I imagined, peeked out. "Oh, young man, what's the matter?" Excuse me, but you mean Moria's son's mother? "Oh, yes, I am, but which of the 2 are you asking for?" It was as if the nameplate, it was like, if it was like the nameplate read, then there were 2 other sisters except for Marie and the Moria family. I thought that's what you meant by which of the 2. I was saying Marie had 2 sisters implies she exists. And if she didn't exist, asking for her might have seemed inappropriate. The way she put it made it sound like there were only 2. There was no doubt she didn't recognize Marie. Oh, well, it's about Marie Moria. Eh? Who? Her mother didn't react to the name Marie. She decidedly must have been asking for another one of her daughters, so she must have misheard Marie's name. But I anticipated that reaction as well. If I'm guessing right, normally we can't remember Marie Moria. Without seeing that photograph I took with that camera, we can't remember her. So I took that photo from my pocket. And while showing it to her mother, I pointed at Marie Moria. It's about this girl you see. She does live here, doesn't she? But you can't see her in the photograph. Eh? Which girl? Eh? May I have a look at this photo for a bit? So is this chapter just gonna be Takashi going around making everyone remember Marie? I'm okay with that. Like, it directly ties into the former chapter, which I really need to go back and re-watch/reread. But I'll get around to it. Like, Fata Morgana ends like in the next couple days, so I have to upload which means I have to edit the early Higanbanas. So I'll get around to it. With a profile that small, even pointing her out with my finger was difficult to indicate where she was. Her mother, with those smells ever so close to her, stared intently at it. I wonder, maybe her memory won't return? Perhaps she'll just think I tricked her into looking at some weird photo. Okay, now that he said that, you know she's gonna remember. No, that's not right. Because if a person saw a photograph they were indifferent to, they wouldn't concentrate on it for a long time like she was doing. Because I had the same experience, I knew. Her mother is beginning to remember. Well, don't you remember her? Remember? Huh. I could tell her words were trembling with uncertainty. I could clearly see her irritation that she couldn't say for sure she didn't know her. Perhaps she pondered that she might not really have a family of 4 in her household, and the memory might be reviving in her mind that she had a family of 5. And then, in a whisper, she muttered, Marie. Yes, it's Marie-san. I repeated that. At that moment, she realized it. The truth about her family. At the same time, she burst with emotion. She screamed, Marie! That's right! Marie didn't come back for ages! Where's Marie? She never came back! Never came back! Where's Marie? Hey, where is she? She's been gone for days, you know? It's my fault. I pushed her to study. Never thinking of that girl's personality. Now she's lost to us. She won't come home. She's afraid of me, so she ran away. It's my fault. Where? Where's Marie? Marie, please. Oh no. Come home! Wah! I knew those words were deranged. I'm not good at doing screams, I'm sorry. Especially at 2 a.m. But this is the first time in my life I had seen a scenario so befitting the word. Perhaps if that chain had been on the open door, that woman might have come lunging at me. While she screamed for Marie to come back to her, the woman ran back into the house. I didn't know what she was doing, but I had a hunch. Maybe she was searching for remnants that she truly had a daughter called Marie. Those traces had always been right by her side until now, but she had never noticed them. For her now, perhaps she was seeing something like Marie's favorite mug. Even in the cupboards where there should have been things belonging only to her family of 4. Oh, oops. She must be seeing that 5th member's things now. She might have been gathering those things in her confusion as they heard a great clamor from within. Maybe she thrust these things upon the rest of the family to prove Marie existed. But her family likely doesn't remember the name Marie. As long as they don't see this photograph, that is. Those violent sounds are probably the sounds of those cupboards being turned inside out. Of course, without stopping, she continued to scream and call out Marie's name. I came here intending to ascertain the truth. But what I had been waiting for was just a strange conclusion. I don't doubt that Marie existed anymore, and Marie's mother remembered her as well. But even though we remember Marie's existence, it doesn't change the fact that she does not exist. Even though she isn't here now, we remember her as she was. I wonder, did I do something absolutely terrible? Pictures are cruel, aren't they? They record the truth for eternity. The mysterious girl had said that as if she knew that camera's true purpose. Photographs suddenly saved the truth. Wait, this is just Umi that it took me this long to realize it. It's gonna be truth versus fantasy. Fantasy being not remembering Marie but being happy. Or truth, being sad but, knowing the truth. It's just Umi Neko. Photographs certainly saved the truth, but that truth wasn't always limited to that person's happiness. I wonder, is it gonna come to a different conclusion than Umi Neko did? If I hadn't brought that picture to her attention, that woman would probably have continued believing she had a family of 4. Wait, if we go like full truth mode, maybe we could summon Erica, and then Best Girl will finally appear again. I hope we go that route. Odds of that? Unlikely. Although, I do know an Umi Neko character sort of makes a cameo here. And no, it's not on... Wait, what's his name? The guy that's in both Higurashi and Umi... I forgot his name. It starts with an O. I can't remember his name. I'm the worst Umi Neko fan ever. Anyway. She would have spent her life in relative peace. However, I forced her to remember that Marie, one of her daughters, had disappeared long ago and didn't return. That wasn't all. How long after chapter 1 is this? Because she just said days. So, but long ago implies, at least a month. I'm going to assume this is like a week or 2 after Meso-Meso-san. Even her existence had been forgotten by the entire world. So I wondered if anyone could understand her cries of lament searching for her daughter. No one could understand. She repeatedly called Marie's name, but the rest of her family couldn't understand whose name it was. Things were thrown or fell down with loud crashing noises, but I could sense she was coming back to the entrance once more. This time she might release the chain, open the door, and come charging at me. I ran away. Was it because I was afraid of that woman's madness? Or was it because I couldn't face the truth the photograph revealed? I couldn't exactly understand why, but I was absolutely terrified. Takashi no Nomiya began to run away from the apartment complex, never to return again. And yet he could still hear the mother scream for Marie. Her screams echoed in the chasm of the complex. Their screams that sounded as if they came from another world. So I kind of expected you to come back for the photograph later, but I guess not. He still has one photo left in the camera. Like the film, you know? So I assume he's going to take another one of Marie? I don't know how he'll do it, but since I ran in confusion, I couldn't tell how many wrong alleyways I went down. But since I knew I was somewhere in the neighborhood, without realizing it, I walked down a narrow alley that I'd never walked down before. Rather than going down a crowded wide avenue, I felt more comfortable in a forgotten narrow alley where no one would see me. I decided to take out the photograph once again. After checking around to make sure no one else had slipped into the seldom traveled street, I took it out. Oh! I thought... Okay. Wait, so he only made the mother remember, but the other family members will never remember now. Unless it's like, he like mails it to them. I guess, but I doubt that's gonna happen. No matter how many times I looked, the captured girl's image called to me as if to tell me she didn't want to be forgotten. No, maybe she really was. For the first time, I thought Marie Moria, who had been completely forgotten for some reason by the entire world, wanting to be remembered, she might have then developed in the still image. However, her expression was unclear. She clearly looked as if she wanted to be saved. It was as if everyone in the class had to be there, so she was unwillingly placed into the photo. I can't get over just like, he made the mom remember, but not the rest of the family. So for the rest of her life, the family's just gonna think like the mom's crazy. I can't get over that. Like, wow, Takashi, come on. At least leave the photo there. It was as if everyone in class had to be there, so she was unwillingly placed in the photo. It was a resigned sort of expression. Now I began to wonder. After seeing Maria Moria's mother's insanity, I began to think clearly. Did I take a photo that had to be taken? I wonder. That photo wasn't something that could be taken with just any camera. I had discovered something that was hidden as if asleep from within the jumbled pile of baggage in that place called our clubroom's nest of demons. And I don't know why I had taken that picture. No, I'm overthinking it. There's no way someone could rejoice at being forgotten by everyone. She wanted to be remembered by everyone. It must be heartbreaking to have your own family forget about you. So I had to do as she wanted. That's right, absolutely right. It might have been an excuse, but if I didn't think like that, my mind wouldn't have calmed down. I'll head home. I'll go home, get in the bath. Then I'll at least have dinner and wrap myself up in my futon. I had to calm down. I had to think of what I should do. Perhaps if I did nothing, things would be fine and I could rest easy. In this skyline from across the alleyway, I could see the tall smokestack of the recycling plant that was also used as a landmark for this area. If I walk that way, I should see a street I know. Or Levy. It's a Levy, right? It's the first time I had walked down that street. But although I had lost my sense of direction, I'm trying to think back to my social studies class. Is it a Levy or a Levy? It's the first time I had walked down that street, but although I had lost my sense of direction, without letting that anxiety get to me, I walked down the alley. Or better, run into someone. You can tell by the transition. But the alley had many turns and bent in many places. Sometimes like a maze, it would branch off. As if the alleys were playing tricks on me, they would end up in mischievous dead ends. The irritation of not finding a street I knew still let me briefly forget what happened at the apartment complex. The apartment building caused me to curse aloud without restraint. Frick! Well, like, how old is he? Like, that's something we still haven't clarified. Something last time made me think it's elementary school. I forget what it was. But like, how old does elementary school go up to in Japan? Is the thing. We know at the very least he's not at the highest year. Since like, he was like, oh, Higanbana, she could be a senpai or not a senpai. The word for that's kohai. But I'm not going to reveal I know that. But, so he's like, at most, like, 10? I don't know. Huh? Oh, it's Santa Claus. That's a design. How do I just want to... Okay, I can't. It's such a narrow alley. I was startled to find in front of me a looming figure standing in my path. So, this guy has to be a yokai, right? The alleyway was so thin that I wasn't able to pass him without bumping into his shoulders. Hold on, let me take a drink. I wasn't curious to try it either. Regardless, the figure in front of me stood idly in this narrow alley, blocking the way. That figure, unconscious with the broken bicycle, the rain-stained washing machine, and the mistreated plants that lined the alleyway. He didn't seem like he belonged here. At first impression, I felt he was an old British gentleman from a century ago. It's Churchill! With a British gentleman style, he wore a top hat on his head, a suit of some refined taste, and even had a cane. I couldn't exactly make out his features from under his hat. Well, I guess this probably takes place in the 1900s, huh? So it's not a century ago. This is what Americans imagine Churchill looks like, by the way. But I could clearly see that he had a well-grown beard and even a monocle. I almost went into a tangent about something, but I stopped myself. I'm gonna go into it anyway. Is it right to call, like, if I were to say, hey, I'm from America, but I'm from the United States of America, like, is that, like, do we have the right to do that? Like, there's two whole continents of America, but only we are America, you know? That's always bugged me. Anyway. I went into the tangent the least amount possible. That satisfies me. He didn't look like he belonged in this back alley at all. It wasn't as if he was doing anything except for merely standing, idly blocking the street. Hey, stop loitering! He didn't seem like he was out for his stroll or out to cool off for the evening. No, rather, he stood fixed facing my direction, looking as if he were expecting me. I started to feel a bit uneasy. Thankfully, there was another street nearby. Since I didn't want to pointlessly get near that strange person, pretending as if the wind had somehow carried me onwards, I then turned down the other alley. He just, like, raises his, like, he puts his arms up, like he's a windmill, and just, you know, it's like, oh, I'm going this way. As long as I can see the recycling plant smokestack and use it like a compass, there's no need to adhere to a specific path. Who was he, though, that man? Rather, if I had seen someone out walking around in their underwear, which would have seemed more natural in this sloppy back alley, then maybe I wouldn't have felt so uncomfortable. But for him to be standing still like that, to be so utterly obstructive, just like what I did earlier, forgetting what happened just now might be for the best. Once I was satisfied cursing, at last I found an alley heading in the direction of the smokestack. I turned that way. The neighborhood was beginning to darken and lights began to glow from inside the houses. Perhaps some were preparing dinner, with the sound of vents, the smell of fried food hung in the air. But even so, without any sign of anyone's presence, this alley was a lonely one. I had taken quite a detour, and I thought I had wasted a lot of time. I had intended just to make a quick stop on the way home from school, but now it was already getting this dark. Even by the time I left the school, it wasn't particularly early either. Saying it was expected made sense, but even so, I felt it was a little early to be getting dark. Did he teleport? No. But I saw that figure once again blocking the way. There's no way I was seeing things. There's those characteristic clothes. I couldn't hide my surprise. You could have put like a period there because that's a comma, isn't it? Or no, I think that's a period. It's hard to tell with the white, like, fur. I like the song. I like all the songs. Do I have to comment every time? Yes, I do. That elderly British gentleman once again blocked the way. There's no way there's more than one elderly man wearing a strange outfit like that. So then this had to be the man. But is this even possible? I avoided the old man and took a detour through another alley. Even then, what are the odds of coming across the same old man yet again? The old man stood the same as when I had met him earlier. As if he were expecting me, he stood perfectly still blocking the alley. Because of the wide hat he wore, I couldn't make out his expression. But for some reason, he was looking at me. No, I felt he was staring at me. I wanted it to just be my imagination. I couldn't imagine that old man was waiting for me. Earlier, there were sometimes alleys with enough elbow room to squeeze by, but this time there were none. To go forward or go back, those were my only choices. If I asked him to please step aside, would he let me pass? By sheer coincidence, I might have just come across the same old man twice. Perhaps that old man truly was waiting for me. Or what if the two old men are waiting for each other? Like they're twins. Like, it's possible. I also like how he hasn't mentioned like the eye thing on like, you know what I'm talking about. To know for sure and to escape the strange scenario, there's one simple solution. I could go back and search for a different avenue. If I met him a third time and that old man blocked my way, then that would mean he obviously wanted to speak to me. Or you could just say, hey, if I had to share words with that mysterious old man, I'd much rather need to head back the way I came again. Without hesitation, or rather as hesitant as I could be, I turned back. After looking over my shoulder to make sure the old man wouldn't follow me, I'm gonna hurry away from there. Sorry, but I can't stay in this alley. It's already getting dark. I want to get home quick. I want to go home. Is that a Higurashi or an Umineko sound effect? It's one of those. Maybe both. I think Umineko. When my mind understood what was in front of my eyes, chills jumped up my spine. Because even though I turned my back on him and left, once again I could see the old man blocking my path. This is impossible. He's just a really fast runner. There must have really been two of them. Did they intend to corner me from both sides? What enjoyment could they possibly derive from something so stupid? No, but what is this song? I can't believe there are two of them. Because the man in front of me and the man behind me look the same. I can't believe there'd be two of them dressed the same like that. Is there any other explanation? Am I supposed to believe that old man just flew past me from behind me at the speed of light? That's not possible. He's not a yokai. How did you say that? But the fact that he was once again directly in front of me was obstructing my path was the undeniable truth. There's no point turning around and running from him again. Even though that was my theory, I've been completely overtaken by fear, so I once again made the choice to turn and run away. Like, just be like, hey, old man, I gotta go. Please let me through. Because this time I was truly afraid. There when I turned, he was there again. This time he was closer. The old man continued to block my path. There's no doubt any longer. Every time, just as I turned around, he was always on the other side. Even as close as the old man's eyes were, I couldn't see them well from under the shadow of his white head. But even so, I could tell he was glaring at me. The way he looked at me seemed just like a snake watching a frog. I felt as if I talked to him now, I'd bring my defeat somehow. But until I had an opportunity, I couldn't even lift a finger. When the old man opened his mouth to speak first, I felt relief for a moment. Well, I suppose it's too late to say good afternoon. Perchance now is a good time to say good evening. I don't know what this voice is. Of course, sir. Good evening. Good evening. His voice was like I thought an old man's voice should sound like, but it gave the impression of a coherent, healthy old man who was easy to talk to. For some reason, his warm tone seemed like his teacher's. It seems he might have been a teacher from one of the other classes in school. I thought that was a crazy idea. Even though I had just met him, thinking he was a teacher or something like that. Nonetheless, based on what little words were exchanged, he gave me the impression he was a teacher. That idea comforted me. Right before we exchanged such simple words, I thought he was like a yokai. There's no way someone can talk to a yokai. Humans are the ones who need to talk. At least there was no need to be needlessly afraid. Yeah, there's no way he's a yokai. It simply isn't so. In fairy tales and old stories, on occasion humans exchange words with spirits like Tengu, Kitsune, Oni, and other yokai. Yes sir, oh yeah, reading by, all British men can read minds. That's common knowledge in the world of Britain. Even though I didn't say anything, the old man replied as if in response to my inner thoughts. When we're getting friendly with a dog, people talk to them as well. Even if you cannot exchange words, it's possible to communicate with them. If we're talking about sharing words, then there's nothing strange about humans communicating with, not just animals, but yokai as well. I suppose that's possible. I'm sorry. For some reason I apologized. I felt as if I had been lectured for concluding that humans couldn't communicate with demons. No, that wasn't it. The old man was really a yokai. He was upset that I had mislabeled him. Well, that's fine. That's a topic we can have another time. It's getting late. If you don't head home soon, your mother will worry about you. The old man laughed. Once again, it seemed as if you were sensing my words before they left my mouth. For some reason, I recalled the mysterious girl I met in that orange-tinted hallway in the back of my mind. That girl was something more than human. But surely she must be associated with this old man, I wondered to myself. The old man didn't answer that question in my mind. But if I thought about it, maybe it was obvious. Now then, Nanomiya-kun, please get away from me. You have a strange camera, don't you? My heart skipped a beat. It wasn't how the old man knew about the camera. After all, I slowly realized this camera wasn't of this world. And the ones that would know best about this camera were like him, not of this world. Yes, sir. I have it. Where did you obtain it, I wonder? In the newspaper club room, Yes. In the deepest section of the club, where books and equipment are jumbled together. It's really quite strange. Eh? That camera was oh so securely sealed away. It's not something that is supposed to be found by humans. Then how could he have found it? So very strange. Oh dear, oh dear. Is that an Arya? Did the old man Arya? I must have been strange to this old man as well. Because there's nothing stranger than being called strange by an old man like this. You don't need to be afraid. I'm not thinking of catching and eating you. Ho ho ho. After all, you want to have a conversation with your breakfast, If I didn't eat you, rather than talking, I'd be eating. Ha 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 ha. Then I was laughing in order to help unravel my nerves. But me, what I heard is that he would eat me rather than talk. Without knowing who this old man was, I still didn't know why he'd come to speak to me. But I won't forget his terrifying presence. I don't want to take up too much of your time, so I'll get quickly to the point. I want that camera back. Eh? This is your camera then? No, it's not mine. However, it's not yours either, That's right, but haven't I had enough of this mysterious camera? Then this is convenient. If I hand it over to this old man, then I can be rid of it. However, handing over this magic camera that I had discovered miraculously so readily to the old man seemed wrong somehow. So I had to ask this. Well, what if I don't hand it over? Hearing such challenging words might have seemed pretty respectful to him. Disrespectful. I should have been more polite, but I forgot that, and unconsciously I treated him like a friend. For just a moment, I'd forgotten he was a terrifying demon. But perhaps thinking he'd be willing to barter something mysterious in exchange for the camera, I said those words. Oh, are you saying you refused then? Well, no, it's just, since I found this camera, if you say you want it, well, then you gotta give me something for it. It's a lost article, I should at least get a 10% finance fee. As the sky began to darken, Takeshi, you idiot. I felt a chill and began to tremble from the sudden cold. I sensed it right when I said those rude words. Then I realized it. I realized that I should have chosen my words more carefully. You think? Exactly when the sun began to set, I looked at the old man. His face was completely covered in pure darkness. I felt that moment of silence would have been scarier than any scream. Oh. Kids these days can't be helped, can they? If you speak modestly with them, they misunderstand themselves as equals. Perhaps like in the old days, I'll have to show you how to respect your elders. Takeshi Nanomiya-kun. Then I had this strange delusion. I felt I was shrinking. No, I felt as if my feet were sinking in the swamp. In a swamp. The old man, the walls too. I watched as they grew taller until the sun finally disappeared behind the old man. I realized the mistake I had made all too late. Even though I had no room to negotiate or anything of the sort, I still said something so conceited. Takeshi Nanomiya-kun. Perhaps you need something to light your fire, And by that I mean a fire. Or do you no longer think you're such a clever child, I wonder? Takeshi Nanomiya-kun. Is it gonna burn him at stake? The old man's gigantic head, with his face shadowed in complete darkness, completely blocked out the sky above me. I didn't know whether my legs are shaky, or if I was sinking into the asphalt. I've got to find the camera. Someone, help me. This isn't the school, Headmaster. Is it Higanbana? Oh my, Higanbana-kun. When I heard that voice, the spell that had been cast on me disappeared. The old man's gaze locked onto something behind me. I figured either Meso-san, Marie, or Higanbana would save him. But it seems too early for Marie to show up. The old man's gaze locked onto something behind me. I looked behind me, and sitting gracefully atop the wall was that girl I met in the twilight hallway. Well, actually, like, the first one I did in 4 episodes, and this is the 3rd episode, so we're nearing the end, aren't we? Unless, like, it's a different length, but I don't know. A cool breeze rustled her beautiful hair and her extravagant skirt. She looked like a western doll that had been brought to life. But at the same time, just like the old man, her being here reminded me of how out of place they seemed in the dirty back alley. Well, I just started keeping notes of out of place moments ago. Now I'm probably just misunderstanding things. They're not out of place. Surely, under these circumstances, I'm the one who can't even protect himself, and I'm the one who's out of place here. Takashi no Nomiya-kun's friend. Oh my, is that so? One must take good care of their friends. Do you intend to lay a finger on him? If I, Higanbana, will become your opponent? Is that so? The old man called Headmaster and the girl called Higanbana had gentle tones in their voices, but suddenly they clearly had bad blood between them. That girl called Higanbana might have made herself my ally. Takashi no Nomiya-kun, move, or you'll be swallowed up. Eh? Just as she said, once again I felt my legs sinking into a pond. But it wasn't a pond. Oozing and expanding from the feet of the old man known as Headmaster was a pure black shadow. It was like tar. The humans it swallowed must be pulled into the next world. That feeling I had moments ago wasn't just my imagination. I was surely in the middle of being swallowed. I ran back to the girl named Higanbana. She dropped it in front of me and stood in front of the Headmaster, blocking his path. This is just Haruhi. This is the Nagato versus... If you haven't watched Haruhi, go watch it immediately. You know the fight, like episode 4, I think. Blocking his path. For a moment I felt I trusted her, which is also well, in chronological order. Don't ask me what order that is broadcast-wise. Felt I trusted her, but she was also a terrifying, otherworldly creature. I could sense a terrifying aura seeping from her back. But for now, at least she was my ally. But because of that, I didn't feel like I could trust her. Because they might just be fighting like a fox and a badger over me. They're prey. Hell, Yoon! Why can't you just think, thanks so much for protecting me, I wonder? I'm sorry? But I think carefully. They can read my thoughts. There's no maybe about it any longer. They're truly not human. Don't you think it'll be a futile battle? Huh? Can I really call it a fight, though? Taking you on at my age, the way you play, it's exhausting, you know. Every time I talk as the Headmaster, I just rub my chin, like I'm a smart British gentleman. That's what they do. They stroke their chin. Then how about you go home and rest? I'll even spoon feed you some gruel befitting a bedridden man like yourself. Perhaps we need something to light your fire. I'm familiar with the Legend of the Seven, you see? That's right. Oh, she has serious face on. The School of 7 Mysteries, so that has a nice ring to it, doesn't it? Oh. The pond that seeped out like a black shadow from the Headmaster's feet oozed over towards us and even climbed over the walls. It was as if you were spilling out a world of darkness from the center of where he stood. And that black pond gradually came to Higanbana's feet. That must have been something truly terrifying even for Higanbana. If not, then the Headmaster wouldn't have moved his pond forward and the like. But Higanbana calmly laughed without making a move. She seemed to be standing there like a fool. Is it alright if I eat you? That was probably the checkmate declaration. Once I noticed it, the black mud was already at her feet. No, not quite at her feet, but surrounding her in a space about the size of a manhole. I wanted to change to the Japanese version to see if it actually just spelled out checkmate in English, but right, it's not only that go. That means if Higanbana didn't finally surrender, she would be swallowed up without a second thought. Wait, did his eye open up more? She seriously provoked him. Even though the Headmaster's voice is calm, I think he's mad with rage. After he gets her, just like that, he'll surely come and eat me. But don't run away. But don't run away right now. But my legs had slipped out from under me, and I couldn't even lift myself up from the ground. But I might not even be able to run away any longer. I mean, look. The sun had set as if to close everything from within the shadow of darkness. And around me, all that was left was the space the size of a manhole, because everything had been concealed by the black marsh. I won't ask again, you know. Is it alright if I eat you? Before you eat me, what if I think I'll be seeing you off to the infirmary sooner, Headmaster? Oh. Higanbana standing there laughing seemed like certain death. This exchange between them must have been just her way of somehow extending her playtime. But as to why she was playing a game that would only make sense during the day at school is hard to understand. This is a game played by those who control the time after the sun is set on the school. Your lazy swamp sure is taking quite some time to get to me, isn't it? I'm bored. I'm faster, you see? Worn for a moment, injured for a lifetime. They won't even be able to put you in the infirmary. I see. A good proverb indeed. Even a lifetime of injury. I assume that's a Japanese proverb because I've never heard it before. A good proverb indeed. Even a lifetime of injury can result from a moment of carelessness, you see. See? I am at that moment. It happened in a moment just as she had boasted. The inner walls on either side of the Headmaster swelled up and erupted from all sides. It was different from an explosion. Swelling up and rupturing free, warped spearheads grew like a monster's claws and wrapped around the Headmaster. It seemed for a moment that he was like a bird trapped in a cage of thorns. When I looked closer, I saw they were the iron rods that were inside the concrete walls. They had curved outwards and extended, even sharpening their tips into spears. Countless spears surrounding him, aiming at his throat. Maybe now there's no harm in standing up. But for some reason, if I tripped or fell over someone, I land throat first into one of those spears. In other words, I was so completely surrounded by warp spears that I couldn't even move. Of course, looking around Higanbana's feet seemed like the same for her. The manhole-sized space that was once around her feet was gone. Perhaps there was just enough there to surround the soles of her feet. This was a critical moment for Higanbana. If she changed her stance even slightly, she would be immediately swallowed up by the pond. There's no doubt that they were both on the verge of taking each other's lives at this moment. I like you indeed. You're a troublesome one. Look for an early retirement, okay? But how about I make this your farewell address? Watch your language, Otherwise, you'll surely just bring unnecessary hardships on yourselves, won't you? Oh, what if I wanted to gladly let you make me taste those hardships? Perhaps you can't? Well, then there's no need to watch what I say, is there? Oh dear. Karma. Everything is like the wheel. What you unleash will certainly come back to you. There's no problem. Aren't we the ones free from those in the cycle of life and death? Takashi no Nomiya-kun, let's ask you. Truth or peace? Which do you value more? It's just Umideko! Eh? Huh? I thought I would suddenly be dropped into the conversation. My heart began leaping in my chest. But after seeing that otherworldly scene, there's no doubting the truth that they were yokai. That yokai was once again talking to me. Perhaps you should choose. Truth, peace. Which do you value more? Don't lend him your ear. If you replied with peace, what do you think would happen? Higanbana-kun sees your trickery. I'm asking him. Well, Takashi no Nomiya-kun, which do you value more? Truth and peace. What does he mean by having peace in opposition to truth? Perhaps he means denying the truth, therefore having peaceful days through ignorance. Surely ignorance can be bliss, but that can't be a good thing. We're humans, even if we don't want to, there are truths that we must know. For instance, an environmental problem is a good example. If I were to discuss it, surely we'll have to face some restrictions in our lifestyles. But nonetheless, if we pretend we don't know about it and continue living peacefully, the price will certainly befall the future of humanity. Haven't I learned that from life in the newspaper club? If people avert their eyes from the truth, thrusting it at them, we must raise these questions. Marie Moria's photograph certainly was a strange thing. But Marie, who had been caught in that photograph, was forgotten by her classmates and everyone else. Even her own mother. By showing her that photo, her mother remembered. Sure it might have been something shocking, Undertaking the impact of what she'd forgotten until now, I could understand why she'd temporarily panic. But Marie Moria must have been happy with that. That had let her remember. She must be rejoicing somewhere. Perhaps she'd been swallowed by this demon called Headmaster, and her existence extinguished. That camera dug up the truth that Marie Moria certainly did exist. It brought back her existence that had been extinguished with the power of her yokai. That's it. When revealed on film, it becomes the truth. Regardless of what might be revealed there, just seeing it invokes that truth. And when I saw the power of this mysterious camera with my own eyes, I was suddenly terrified. But if I think about it, I didn't do anything strange. But what was strange was the disappearance of Marie Moria's very existence. That was much worse. With that camera, I tore through the doubt and revealed the truth. I protected the name of Marie Moria. Without even opening my mouth, I created my clear answer. So what do you think, Headmaster? Takeshita Nomiya-kun chose truth. To choose truth over peace. So like a youngster to say. Very well, Higanbana-kun. Perhaps we should stop here for now, How wise. After all, I don't want to get my favorite shoes dirty. I agree. I don't want my favorite overcoat to be full of holes either, you see. The warp spheres that had surrounded the Headmaster, as if being laid around on videotape, began to be swallowed by the walls they ruptured from. And returning to a bulge, they gradually became flat. As if nothing had happened at all, the arranged in walls returned to their original smoothness. At the same time, the ground nearby that had been completely filled with a black pond, moving sloppily, began to return to the Headmaster's feet. I noticed that everything around was as it was before. Even the brightness of the sky. I felt as if I had been squaring off for a long time. But perhaps it was for an instant. The smell of fried food reached my nose. That's probably that smell that hung in the air earlier. Even though it felt like that smell had returned. How can I best describe it? It felt as if the air of the living had returned. If so, was that back alley a different world than this one? Now that I think of it, I can't tell. Well then, suppose I'll excuse myself then, shall I? Takeshita Nomiya-kun. I've been keeping you, haven't I? It's straight home. Well then, Higanbana-kun. Some other time. Yeah, some other time. I'll come visit you and bring you gruel. Just a spoonful. Ho ho ho. May I have two? You're right. You've earned the honor. I'll bring you 2 helpings of gruel. Later then. Take care of yourself. Indeed, indeed. The doll in the infirmary would say something like that in farewell, eh? Ho 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 ho. The Headmaster's figure slowly diluted away. It's like a swaying mirage. Thinking my eyes were getting fuzzy, I wiped my eyes. When I looked again, he had completely disappeared. However, Higanbana didn't disappear. And there she was. She turned to me and stretched out her hand. She was laughing mischievously, as if wordlessly wondering how long I had been lying there. Thank you for helping me. You're welcome. If I'd come just a tad later, you would have unknowingly disappeared here in this alley on the way home from school, you know? Not just your physical form, but from the class register and group pictures too, yeah? Of course, maybe even your teacups might disappear from your house. Higanbana laughed as if to say, as you are now, you understand best of all, don't you? A moment longer and I would have been sucked into that pure black pond. Then, like Marie Moria, even memories of my existence will surely disappear from the face of the earth. Aside from photographs this mysterious camera captured, my existence would be completely forgotten. In our school, he's been a school yokai for a very long time, you see. We call him school yokai of the 1st rank, Headmaster. I'm Higanbana of the 3rd rank. Haven't you seen the western doll sitting atop the medicine cabinets in the infirmary? No, I've never gone to the infirmary. Oh, then I'll not you next time. I'll send out an invitation along with an appropriate injury worthy of the infirmary, perhaps. Higanbana gave a mischievous smile, but I didn't feel like laughing. Just watching her last exchange, she seemed more dangerous than the Headmaster. What I saw was what seemed like the Headmaster attacking her with everything he had and begrudgingly had to retreat. The terrifying creature is right in front of my eyes. If I had the impoliteness I had before, this time I'd certainly be killed. Alright, that's fine with me. Pure communicates respect. It's one of the fundamental rules of etiquette, so no one gets cursed. Don't worry. It's just like you said, you see? If I intended to eat you, I wouldn't wait and I'd take a single bite. I'd take you in a single bite. Talking with you like this means That at least for now, I have no intention of doing so. Hey, that's what the headmaster said. For now? They're starting to be so afraid, you see? Right now, the soul of Takashi no Nomiya-kun just doesn't look that tasty. I don't have the urge yet, you see? Looking at it now, all the fuss will ruin the flavor. Which means I can't relax at all. Because now I clearly understand who's dominant on the food chain between us. Well, come with me. This alley is his barrier. If you're by yourself, no matter how far you walked, you'd only keep circling around the same alley, you see? Why me? Why was a yokai who treated the humans like food saving me? As long as I couldn't know for sure, I couldn't come with her. Dr. Higanbana made a face as if to say, oh jeez, it's a serene expression befitting her return. She spoke. Hold on. Because you're getting revenge for my friend, so perhaps you could call it returning the favor. Revenge? Today you went to my friend's house and then her mother's memories returned. Can we get to a stopping point? Oh, of Marie Moria's son? Yes, Maria is my friend, and I erased her existence. That old man known as the Headmaster? Having everyone forget about her isn't such a bad thing. Even if all the people in school forget about her, then at least you'd want her family to remember her, right? But because he's ruthless, he snatched away memories even from her parents. Right? Isn't that terrible? What in the world is this camera? It's equipment from our class, you see? It can't be fooled by trickery of any kind. It shows the truth. Earlier, when I looked at her name tag, it was as if it were washed out by the rain. I couldn't read it. But now I could read it faintly. Her class was Classroom B. Now I could read Classroom 13 written in there. Certainly there are many classes and students in the school, but I didn't think there was any grade with Classroom 13. At least for humans, that is. Classroom 13? Perhaps that's the classroom where the yokai live in the school. Speaking of that classroom's equipment, it makes sense something with a mysterious power would come from there. You can imagine it, can't you? To him that camera is an inconvenience, because it would release the humans he ate, you see? He didn't just eat our humanity, but even our existence. Taking a picture of that camera, bringing back her presence, is the same as taking the food out of him. Not just her meat and bones, but to even eat her. Very existence. What a terrifying yokai. Well, there's also times it's convenient. This is just Higanbana talking, right? Or was that Takashi talking? That's why I can't stand this kind of format. Like, light novels do this. I've read quite a few light novels in my time, and they never, like, do, like, he said, she said. And there's just, like, a whole page of just dialogue back and forth. And by the end of it, you have no idea who's talking. Among the classmates coming in and out of the newspaper club room, you're in the same class as Marie, so I made you find that camera. Just as the headmaster said, that camera had been carefully sealed away, and he said it wasn't something humans could simply find. It made sense. The Higanbana person wanted revenge for her friend, removed the seal on the mysterious camera, and allowed me to find it. Exactly right. I gave you that camera. Would you let me keep it, I wonder? Then as if to confirm it, she giggled again. Okay, I'm calling it there. This is the best stopping point I'm gonna get. We can go to page 2. Cool. Wait, does it always make... I wonder if you save in chapter 2, does it make the camera sound effect? Or does it just make that sound effect for every save? I just now noticed that. I guess we'll find out when I get to chapter 3, huh? Or when I actually go back and edit my video. Like, I'm gonna do that. Hold on, there's something I wanted to look at before I call it. What's the name of this chapter? Or arc, or whatever we're calling them. The spirit camera. Okay. That is gonna be something junior, like the camera of truth. But no. Okay. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'll see you guys next time. This was a long one. So yeah. Bye.